Hey guys, I'm back at 42 Gear Street and I've got a special guest today. I'm here with Charlie Cooper from Orange Amps.
Hi.
Thanks so much for joining me.
Cheers.
How's your 42 Gear Street experience going this year?
It's been splendid. I've already hung out with Henning in the hot tub, first thing I did.
Priorities.
Yeah, I look forward to that from last time.
Yeah.
Been meeting loads of new YouTubers that I haven't met before, been hanging out and just basically just having a laugh. It's been a lot of fun. That's what it is. It's like compared to trade shows where you just like it's loud and you're like, oh, do you want to hear this product? Oh, you can't hear it. So hear it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's
so cool.
Such a different vibe here.
Yeah,
it
is.
More laid back.
So I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
That's good. Cool. Well, thanks for joining me in the video. We're going to be talking about a cool new product today.
Yeah.
Which is the new Orange Oriverb, which is the signature model of Orianthi.
Yeah. So. Orianthi's been using like Orange for quite a while now. She's been she was rehearsing with Michael Jackson on the This Is It tour. Yeah. And obviously like she's like an international star, and she uses the Orange Rockerverb Mark III. Right. Yeah. She loves the amplifier, and she said she wants to have one that is like her own. So we're like, okay, well, what changes do you want to it? And she's like, well, can we like change the look of it a bit? So we went to our factory, we got some like material changes. Yeah. And so we sent her a ton of different materials, and she was like, I want that one, which is, it's kind of like beautiful like 60s, 70s paisley art texture.
I was going to say, it's almost like a paisley sort of vibe, isn't it? It's lovely.
We got an acoustic pedal, and we have like that kind of paisley design on a similar paisley design, and it's just like a bit of a coincidence that she was like, oh, I like this one as well. We're like, we like it too.
It's really eye-catching.
It is beautiful.
It's the sort of thing that looks lovely up close, but then if you were to put that on a stage, I can imagine on stage that would look awesome.
It looks phenomenal.
What's her setup for like live use? Is she using the combo like we're doing shape?
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Okay.
She doesn't really use many like pedals. Like she has like a tuner, but she usually just goes straight into this. Okay. And it's kind of her tone, and so her request was, if you just like pump the mids a bit. And so Adrian, who like designs all of our gear, like Adrian's been at the company since like the early 90s. Yeah. So he's done like the Rockerverb Mark I, Mark II, Mark III, Mark III Neo, which is what this is closely based on. And she said, oh, could you also make it lighter? I mean, we're Orange, we do heavy stuff. So we tried to make it lighter, so we're using Celestion Neo Creamback speakers. Like the neodymium just makes it like it's a lot lighter in that sense for the speaker size. I
love the creambacks as well. I think they sound great. They're great sounding speakers.
Oh, they're beautiful. We use them in our PPC 212V as well, which is like a vertical cabinet. So if you haven't checked that out, by the way, that is actually, I would say, a genuinely light cabinet. Okay. So there you go.
Check that out.
Yeah.
Is this available in like other formats then, or is it just a combo?
Just a combo. Okay. It's what she uses, and it's something that it's all in one, so she can just rock up to a studio, to an event, and just take this one package, and that's it.
Okay, cool. Makes sense. So let's talk a little bit about some of the specs and features of this thing then. Like what do you think are sort of some of the sort of cool or defining features of this amp?
I guess with the Mark III, she's already using it, and one of the things that Adrian had done with the Mark III version compared to the Mark II was actually have tactile knobs, which it seems like a really small change, but just being able to know, okay, go to 12 o'clock and then like 3 notches to the right, just being able to recall that to get that exact tone.
I noticed the notching thing when I was kind of playing around with the amp earlier. That's really cool because I've never seen that feature. I've seen amps where like there might be like a midnight notch on an EQ control or whatever, but that amp has the notches on a bunch of the controls, so you can actually, like you said, it's very tactile. You can feel the actual click points of every single knob that you move, which is cool.
The Rockerverb series is, I would say, perhaps our most mature amplifier. It's gone through the most amount of feedback, most amount of revisions, and it's got to the point where literally Adrian's able to just think about just the feel of the actual each of the dials and actually just dial it in. I just like the speakers are phenomenal. Love them. They just sound really tight, and having like the 2 channels. You can just go for the clean channel. You got the dirty, because Orianthi can play like she's epic. Well, she can play like all genres really, but she's really good at blues, rock, heavy rock, And so the Rockerverb is kind of like the perfect amplifier. It's kind of like why she loves it so much. So my other favourite features, I like the spring reverb on it. The attenuator is really helpful because you can just it makes it really versatile. You can just essentially drive the tubes as much as you need to, and then just easily back off the volume. There's the effects loop. A lot of people always request effects loop, so we have that. That's kind of like my favourites, but I mean, but also it's got all the same features that you'd expect in an Orange product.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Even the wooden skids helps it couple to the stage a bit better. You have amps that always have rubber, but just having the wood also makes. I think the original idea of having wooden skids. Going on a bit of a tangent now, by the way.
That's cool.
The idea of having wooden skids was actually originally to make it easier to unload from the van, so you can just pull it out. And put it back in.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
And then with the actual heft of our amplifiers on wooden stages, it helped it couple to the stage a bit better, so we got a bit more resonance.
See, I did always wonder about that because every Orange amp I've seen has the wooden sort of the sort of things underneath, and I always wondered what the logic behind that was, or whether it was an aesthetic thing, some aesthetic things just become part of a brand, or whether it was actually a practical application. But
it was almost half and happy accident. It was originally just the van, and then that's why we don't do it on the more lightweight Orange amps. So the Crush series, which don't have the heavy tubes and supporting circuitry for that. You just have rubber mounts on those. So
that makes a lot of sense. That's a really cool feature, actually.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, cool. So let's hear some Soundsmith then. So let's start with some clean, shall we? Because
it's got
some
right
nice
now.
Clean sounds.
So I go over there and check it out.
Wherever you can reach from, really. Whatever's easiest for you.
One awkwardly reach. I'm just going to get out. Don't worry about keeping me in shot. So right now we're on. Let's put you to clean.
Okay.
So on the clean, we've got the volume, bass, and treble. Give it a go. Try it out. Beautiful. No,
that reverb's lovely.
It is. Right?
It's got a real nice tail off.
Yeah.
Just keeps going.
Having a spring reverb, and there's nothing digital about this, and it just kind of comes through in the final tone. One thing that we were talking about earlier, which I'm not sure a lot of people know, but when Adrian designs our amps, he always makes sure 12 o'clock is really the starting point.
Yes.
So at the moment, with the exception of volume, everything's at 12 here. So how about you keep playing, and what I'll do is I'll just push the trebles up a bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
See how that affects your tone.
Lovely, it's really chimey, but it's still got so much low end and there's so much warmth to it.
Yeah.
In the room, it sounds fantastic. Obviously, you guys are hearing it through the Sennheiser MD421, but yeah, it sounds great in the room. Just there's so much presence to it, but also depth as well, which is really nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can imagine if you had this thing cranked on stage, it would just sound
actually
incredible.
I think the only other pedal that she sometimes uses is the clon. So she does put that through it sometimes.
So it's good to kind of put a boost in front of it as well, give it a bit of a kick when you need to.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's a really nice sound.
Well, do you want to check out the Dirty channel?
Oh yes,
let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's get some drive. You can't use a Rockerverb style amp, can you, and not get some drive going?
There's kind of the versatility. Just 2 channels, and it just kind of does the entire spectrum. Really.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to push you over to the Dirty channel.
Cool. I should also mention we're only running this amp on half power today with some attenuation dialed in as well. So we're actually running it quite quiet. Obviously, it's a 50 watt amp. We're running it at 25, but quite attenuated, you could really open this thing up if you had the facility to do so as well.
I've got everything with the exception of the attenuator at 12 o'clock.
Cool.
And we're on half output power as well.
Cool. Oh, and I'm also using this lovely Valiant Guitars Jupiter as well, as you can see, which is loaded with two P90s.
And using summer cables.
Yes, and summer cables as well, which are really, really cool cables. I've never used them before, but they're very high quality.
Yeah, thanks, Summer. When my dad tried to get me to play guitar, I should have taken it more seriously. But I played piano more, but I wish I could play. I thought I could play guitar, and then you work at a company like Orange, and everyone's just like better. So
I guess like everyone at the company is like a real kind of guitar fan as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I think that helps the brand as well. When everyone that works there is actually someone who loves the guitar, I think that obviously reflects in the products you guys make, because your products come out so good and everyone's so serious about their job because they love it.
Yeah,
it's not just like a case of people are making stuff just because it's their job.
Yeah, essentially like we make stuff for ourselves. Like Adrian, who designs the gear, he's designing it a lot of the time like for himself as well, you know.
Yeah, what do I want to hear from this?
Yeah, it's never like, you know what, this kind of trend in amplifiers is happening, let's jump on that. It's never been that. So
that's one thing you can say about Orange, is you guys have never been a company to do the trendy thing. You've always just done the Orange thing, and you've always kind of stuck to your guns about doing things the old school way as well. Yeah,
we kind of like nailed the look of the Orange amps back in the 60s and 70s. So why change it? Adrian, like when he does the amps, he always makes sure, essentially, he kind of jokes about this, but he says if you can't do the first two AC/DC albums, it's not an Orange amp.
yeah, that's fair.
And it's what will happen is just you can't really say, okay, well, this trend's happening, and let's do digital stuff. Like, also, we do what we know, and we do it for the love of it, and it's fun. It's genuinely just fun to do and listen.
That's it. I mean, you know, the company's been around so long that you've got this heritage, but also this kind of iconography that people have this idea of what an Orange amp is, and you guys know that, and you stick to that because that's the thing you're good at. Yeah, that's why you don't have any digital stuff or MIDI. It's just like you buy an Orange amp because this is what it is, and that's what people expect from it, which is cool.
Well, the story on the icons, right? So if, by the way, my dad founded the company. It's a family business. Yeah. So that's also the other fun thing as well. You don't have to answer to sharoholders. The priority is to kind of do it for the fun of it. Yeah. And I think he was in France. He noticed that loads of road signs were just. He was like looking at them, thinking, "Oh, they're kind of universal. Even if it's a different language, you can still understand all the road signs." Yeah. So he was thinking. At the time, he wanted Orange to be bigger than it was. He just started off in a small orange shop, which he painted orange. Right. And so he thought, okay, well, what can I do to differentiate myself from everyone else? So he thought, okay, well, he came up with the tagline, Voice of the World, with the dream of essentially having Orange recognised and heard all around the globe. And with that, it came the idea of, okay, I want everyone to understand the tone and understand how to use it. So that's why he went icons only. And so he used to just have icons so people knew exactly what they did without even having a second thought. Yeah,
I always thought that was a really cool touch, because it's something that, again, it's what I think of when I see the brand Orange. Yeah. If I looked at an Orange amp and it said bass, middle, treble, I think, well, where are the symbols? Yeah. That's what I want to see on the amp.
It's fun coming up with new icons as well. We did a bass amplifier which was bi-amping in one product. Okay. So you can get to it was like a gnarly, dirty guitar amplifier and a really clean bass amplifier in one. And we had to come up with an idea of, okay, how do we show the fact that you can blend the tones. So Adrian came up with the idea of just, how about we use a blender? So we just got a picture of a blender on the amplifier.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then once you do it, it becomes canon, so it's a really big deal. You need to make sure you're consistent with that.
And I suppose you've got people then who are fans of the brand who know that, and they sort of keep a watch out for all these little subtle changes that you guys come up with too.
All of our, like the Crush series, we have English and icons, so people kind of are getting introduced to it. And with the Rockerverb Mark III and a lot of our UK amplifiers, a lot of the time people are just so seasoned to Orange that they already know what the icons are as well. So we also just make it exclusively icons. For this one as well, like to change things up, we actually got the icons with some like small English text underneath as well. So people who aren't familiar with Orange, like, we do get a few people say, "Oh, can't you put text in there?" We're like, "We'll do a bit of both then, all right?" So
yeah, a bit of both.
Yeah,
that's cool. So this obviously is a brand new amp. Obviously, people who are familiar with Orianthi's playing know that she's, you know, she's super versatile. She does everything from really clean pop stuff through to some kind of face melting shred guitar. So how gainy can this thing get?
Offensive.
Okay.
Offensive.
Because obviously, we did some kind of, you know, classic rocky sort of gain tones. So let's get offensive then. Let's show people how offensive this can get.
Okay, ready?
Let's do it.
I'm going to start at 12 and just slowly bring on the offense, all right?
That's what you should change it to. It should be just called offense, not gain. Even on full gain though, there's still so much note separation there. Like you can hear every single note of the chord.
You can be technical with it, and it doesn't fizz, it doesn't like get mushy. When we so we're at a download festival. This was like a few years back. I think it was like 2015, 2014 maybe. And Jim Brute of Slipknot, he uses the he was using the Mark II at the time. And we had like essentially like the first production model just fresh off the factory of. Well, actually, no, it wasn't the production. Sorry, I'm remembering this wrong. But we had a prototype. Like it was meant to be like a final prototype of the Rockerverb Mark III. So we met up with his techs backstage. And Jim just tried it right there and then said, "That's perfect. Like that's gnarly." And so we just right then just switched it out. So we just took out the Mark II, put in the Mark III, and literally like the first, like almost like the second time he played it was literally live on stage at Download. In
front of like 85,000 people. That's a real, you know.
It's just
baptism of fire for the amp, isn't it?
Like, and when you have someone like Jim just put your trust into the amp, you just go, this is great. This is, you know, I have the trust. It sounds good. I've got the note separation because he's such a technical player, and
Jim is someone who's known for being so involved with what his rig is, and he's so switched on to the gear that he uses and why he uses it. So for him to just say, that's great, let's go and play it on stage, you know, that's kind of a testament, isn't that?
Yeah, absolutely. So so I forget what we're talking about with this amplifier now.
Note separation. Just how good it sounds. The note separation's
like,
fantastic on that. Even though there's a ton of gain there, you can still hear every single note, which is I think a really important thing.
A lot of times, it's often you can just get you're playing and you just get this kind of like you get a fizz that kind of just goes over, and you don't want that. You want to be able to make sure your guitar can kind of sing through and also cut through the mix is really important as well.
Absolutely.
So I wasn't sure if I mentioned this, but like Ori, when she was saying like boost the mids, a lot of that was also just to kind of make sure that those solos and those kind of that tone just kind of cuts right through.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because she's playing on stage a lot of the time. You want the mids to kind of help you get through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool, awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time to show me the amp. It sounds great.
It's been fun.
I love that thing. So yeah, if you guys want to find out more about this amp, there's some links down below in the description where you can go and check it out. It's out now, so go and give it some love. It's a really cool amp, super versatile. I could probably sit here for hours playing it and tweaking it because it sounds so good.
I could sit here for hours just listening. That was fun.
Well, thanks for jumping in the video with me.
Thanks a lot. It's been fun.
Yeah, thank you guys. Check out the hashtag 42GS6 for more videos from the event. Big thanks to Henning for putting the event on and all the brands for making this possible. And big thanks to Charlie for being in the video and talking about the amp for me.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks guys. See you soon.